Your Honor, at this time, I move for a dismissal of all charges against Alan Mettler based on governmental misconduct. The facts upon which this amounting to a violation of my client's rights under the 5th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution. The facts upon which this are based are simple. Yesterday, I represent to you as an officer of this court that David Greenlee, the paid informant in this case, was being kept back in a conference room in Your Honor's chambers. He was there with Sergeant Gusdall as I walked in, and he had in front of him, Your Honor, one of the same color reading. I noticed there's one that counsel has, and in mine at least, it is testimony. His testimony is in my transcript from a hearing dated August 2nd, 2001. Along with it, in the same transcript, is the testimony of Jeff Pintal, an officer in this case. I cite off the bat Rochen versus Connecticut, a very old United States Supreme Court case written by Justice Felix Frankfurter, in which a person's stomach was pumped to get drug evidence out of it. I realize the facts are not on all four. However, Mr. Justice Frankfurter ruled that that conduct shocked the conscience of the community and shocked the conscience of that court.
Wait, now tell me what you believe is shocking, that he read his testimony at the preliminary examination and read somebody else's testimony?
I don't know what he read, Your Honor, but I'm asking you in camera to voir dire him, to question him regarding what in fact he did read. And if he did have the opportunity to read someone else, another witness's testimony, an officer in the case, I think that that offends and is repugnant to the Constitution of the United States.
Was there a sequestration order at the preliminary examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, there was.
Oh, well then that would be a serious problem.
Okay.
Serious problem. All right.
Your Honor, counsel for the government, Davis. Whenever a skilled trial lawyer who has the burden of proof gets in front of a jury and spends most of his time talking about the procedures that police use, have used in thousands of cases before, hundreds of cases, and talk about terms like dirty by and clean by, they're talking, but they're not telling you what the evidence is. And I'm going to try to tell you what I believe the evidence will show. And this David Greenlee is a liar, and we got him caught. Okay? We got him caught. You're going to see it. It isn't going to be like Perry Mason, where he sits on the witness stand and one of the lawyers gets him to confess to you that he's lying, or that he planted the drugs for money, and there's more to it. There's a lot into it, a lot in it for David Greenlee, because he didn't work. He made money one way, setting up drug deals with people who he's posing to be friends with. He not only set up these guys, he set up these guys. Fearing these two guys, what he saw, what he met, were a couple of hayseeds from Ohio. That's what David Greenlee saw. He posed as their friend, and he set them up. He had a lot to gain. He has a good gravy train going here. He gets paid to party. Paid to party. Paid to make him feel like he is a cop. But he isn't one. He's not dedicated to police officer like these people. Don't fall for it. When this case is over, I ask you to do the right thing. Find Alan guilty of what he's guilty of. Find him not guilty. Wait a minute. Find him not guilty. Those are charged with running the drug files. Delivering pills. He didn't deliver no pills. He's not a drug dealer. No. The end. Ask yourself. There's no police officer outside of Allen owning up to this officer about what he did. There is no evidence outside of David Greenlee whatsoever that Alan Mettler has anything to do with ecstasy, phenobarbital, or any other narcotic. There's no evidence that he has anything to do with selling drugs. The case is over, ladies and gentlemen. I ask you to return verdicts of not guilty on those charges. Thank you. As a control in this so-called controlled buy, sir, did you monitor David Greenlee's activities prior to your picking him up on the 13th or the 15th of February 2001?
Monitor whose activity?
David Greenlee's.
No. I didn't.
Did you monitor to see whether or not David Greenlee on his own went into 171 Colonial earlier on the 13th of February?
No.
Did you monitor whether David Greenlee went on his own over to 171 Colonial on the 15th of February 2001?
No.
Prior to your taking him over?
No.
You didn't control what was said inside that apartment through the use of a body wire, did you?
No.
Some informants have body wires that record sound put on them, don't they, sir?
It's very rare.
Yes or no? A way of controlling what is said inside is to put a body wire on the informant
Yes, that is a way.
with a microphone so that you can pick up what is said inside, correct?
Yes.
You can't even speculate how much money you have received from Con. Can't.
Not in total.
You've received an amount of money that you can't even give us a total from them, correct?
No, sir.
And you're not the kind of guy who would use any other kind of drugs, are you?
No, I'm not.
You're the kind of guy who will set up his friends, though, won't you? Yes or no?
No, I've never set up a friend in my life.
You will set up people who you're posing to be their friend, right?
Yes.
Okay. You're an entertainer, aren't you, sir? And you're not the kind of guy who would plant pills on people who you're posing to be their friend with, are you?
Never.
For money.
No, not for any amount of money.
In America, we require proof, evidence. And he just did it again. He talked about everything that is proof. I know there's a reasonable doubt when the person who has the only burden talks about everything but proof. I want to talk about evidence that was before you and lack of evidence. Police procedure doesn't have a damn thing to do with whether or not Alan Mettler ran a drug house, and he wasn't running, maintaining a drug house. He didn't have no pills, and he didn't sell no pills, and he didn't sell no nothing to anyone. There's only one witness of 3 weeks. One witness says that Alan, a kid who's never been in trouble, a kid who's worked all his life, a kid who's able to get his sister to come in and say he tells the truth and that's his reputation, and he doesn't sell drugs. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt is the highest degree of proof.